कोई कहेगा कि ये पद्मावत की तरह है, कोई कहेगा बाजीराव की तरह है, कोई कहेगा गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स की तरह है, कोई और शो का रेफरेंस देगा.
Ranveer has done a fantastic job in Khilji, but I've not been influenced by what he did in Khilji and what I've done as Shaibani Khan.
Not trying to look younger, you're trying to just look how you're supposed to look in the character. So not trying to like overdo. Sabbaticals, forceful sabbaticals थे बहुत बार. ऐसा consciously कोई नहीं काम करना, ऐसा कोई नहीं होगा जो मुझे काम नहीं करना. I don't think, at least I am like that.
Everybody's playing and everyone's getting a chance to play these very exciting matches. And you're on the bench and you get a chance to play sometimes.
The opportunities that were coming my way at some point were terrible. Bhavna, that time is a terrible time, let me tell you. It's a really terrible time because वो insecurity पैदा हो जाती है कि यार
Welcoming the talented bunch of the Empire on Bollywood Bubble today, Dino Morea, Kunal, and of course Drashti. Welcome to Bollywood Bubble, all of you.
Thank you so much.
I have to firstly congratulate you because the trailer has been received so well. I know I'm very excited for this. But the one question or the one comparison everyone is making is कि ये इंडिया का गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स है. ये मैं हर जगह पे पढ़ रही हूँ, हर जगह पे ये एक कंपैरिजन हो रहा है. Does that bother you? How do you take it when such comparisons are being made about the show?
Well, I think these are unnecessary comparisons. I mean, comparisons will be made and it's flattering that it's Game of Thrones because it's a fantastic show. And जब भी आप कुछ ऐसे पीरियड ड्रामा करेंगे तो कोई ना कोई किसी ना किसी चीज के साथ कंपेयर जरूर करेगा. कोई कहेगा कि ये पद्मावत की तरह है, कोई कहेगा बाजीराव की तरह है, कोई कहेगा गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स की तरह है, कोई और शो का रेफरेंस देगा. लेकिन ये बिल्कुल इट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी, इट्स अ डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड, इट्स डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स, डिफरेंट पीपल. एंड इफ पीपल आर कंपेयरिंग द स्केल, देन ग्रेट, इट्स वंडरफul. But I don't think there's any other commonality between that show and this show.
True, I agree. Because you mentioned Padmaavat, I want to ask Dino, आपके कैरेक्टर को स्पेशली खिलजी के कैरेक्टर के साथ कंपेयर कर दिया गया है. There are stories being made on that. How did you react when you first saw that? Or were you expecting that?
देखिए, एक्सपेक्ट तो बिल्कुल कर रहा था because ये मैं मानता हूँ अगर if you compare me to someone who's done a fantastic job, then चलो ठीक है, I'm okay with it. Because Ranveer has done a fantastic job in Khilji, but I've not been influenced by what he did in Khilji and what I've done as Shaibani Khan. When you see the show, you'll understand. मैंने खुद जो एक अपना madness जो है मैंने introduce करने की कोशिश की through Shaibani Khan. So I'm okay with the comparison as long as it's to the best. Don't compare me to anything else but the best.
But Drashti, you tell me, what is the kind of response you have been getting? This is your debut on OTT as well.
Couldn't have asked for better than this for sure.
Huh?
And couldn't have asked for better than this for sure.
I am also sure about that. I am so glad. I remember I would meet her and I would tell ki next kya kar rahe ho aap, and she would be like, I'm waiting for something exciting to happen. And I'm so glad this is what it is because nothing better than that, But what is the kind of response personally you have been getting ever since the trailer has come out?
So of course the response has been like, I've been getting messages from all my old producers and directors, and they were like, you have really taken a step, not even one step, you've taken 100 steps forward, and this is something that every girl and every actor would want to be a part of and look for it. So they all are appreciating. They're like, you're looking very different, you're not trying to look younger, you're trying to just look how you're supposed to look in the character, so not trying to like overdo. And of course everyone's waiting to watch, and so am I. So now I'm a little more nervous because of course when you get so many compliments, you're even more nervous because they are only watching those trailers which are just the best bits of the show. So I'm like really scared. जब acting देखेंगे तब क्या होगा, तब पता चलेगा.
नहीं, I'm sure जितना ट्रेलर में दिखा है और जितना मैंने आप सबकी जर्नी देखी है, I can vouch that it will be an interesting watch for sure. But one common thing between all of your career trajectory, if I may say, is that you have not taken everything that has come your way. You have waited it out. Sabbatical भी बीच में हुए हैं, but you have not, like you have always.
मतलब ऐसे sabbaticals, forceful sabbaticals थे बहुत बार. ऐसा consciously कोई नहीं काम करना, ऐसा कोई नहीं होगा जो मुझे काम नहीं करना. I don't think, at least I am like that. So not like I was showered with calls, but nothing really that interesting was coming, and I was in a position to wait it out. So I waited out, and of course, when I got Khanzada, of course, I knew it was a great show to be a part of. It was, I think, only after we saw the trailers we realized that it is not great, it is the greatest.
True. But that is also common between Dino and Kunal. I mean, if you see their career trajectory, it's not like they've taken everything. They have also waited it out and taken projects which they really believed in. Was that difficult? Because it is difficult to be in that position also, to say no to projects which might be great in terms of numbers for your career, but something that you don't resonate with personally.
Yeah, you feel like I often feel like I'm part of a football team where I'm sitting on the bench and everybody's playing, and everyone's getting a chance to play these very exciting matches, and you're on the bench and you get a chance to play sometimes, and you're like, but I want to play all the time because I really enjoy playing. I really want to be on a set, and I think that's sometimes very challenging and difficult because, like I said, you're sitting on the bench and watching others play a very exciting game, and you want to be part of that game. The good thing that I've done for myself is that I've constantly kept practicing. And I think, when you keep practicing and keep working and getting better, then it doesn't get so frustrating. It's not like you're just twiddling your thumbs and waiting for the next thing to come your way. You're like, I'll use this time well, and I'll use this time to get better at what I do. And, there's a really famous quote that Bruce Lee had, which always stayed with me. He said that success is when opportunity meets practice. And opportunity is not always in your hands, but practice is. So you've got to keep practicing.
I can see Dino was also shaking his head because I'm sure unko to zyada ye feel hua hoga throughout his career. What was it like?
I like Kunal's analogy of sitting on the bench, but because I play a lot of football, I'll tell you something. I also have been sitting on the bench, but when there's a fantastic player sitting on the bench, that gets you worked up a little more. Because the opportunities that were coming my way at some point were terrible. And I decided that, rather than doing them and digging my own grave further, I'd rather just say no and wait for the right opportunity. And like Kunal did, I also worked on myself simultaneously. I was working on myself in the event that opportunity came. I'd be so ready that if producer kahenge ki kal shooting karna hai to main taiyar. So I was always ready for the opportunity, just waiting. Unfortunately, our industry works in a certain way, ki perception. If you're perceived or you've done some really fantastic movies, and perceived to be so and so and a great actor, then you were. So the roles weren't coming, and they were far and few in between. And I waited patiently, but I kept telling everyone, I'm still here. Letting the industry know that I'm still here. And I'm grateful to the few people who've taken a chance on me because it just gave me an opportunity now to show what I can really do. And that I'm a fantastic player on the bench. Put me in the starting 11 now.
That's lovely, but I also want to know because sometimes when you wait for that one opportunity or when you wait for the right opportunity to come your way, that wait can be longer than you intend it to be. And I mean, I can say personally, it can get frustrating because then you're like, where am I going wrong? Why is this happening to me? Those are questions that doubts happen, Did it happen with y'all?
Bhavna, that time is a terrible time, let me tell you. It's a really terrible time because वो insecurity पैदा हो जाती है कि यार हमारी इंडस्ट्री में एक चीज है ना कि out of sight, out of mind. So you keep thinking, somebody offers you a mediocre role and you say, hey, I don't want to do it. But somewhere half of you says, should I do it just to be seen? So the industry knows I'm working. And then you convince yourself to say no. You keep saying, so it's a really tough time. And you still want to be relevant. You still need to be known. You still need to be a part of the industry. And that's why I became a producer. I became a producer because I wanted to still be part of the industry and maybe create content for myself also. It's a very tough time, but I must tell you this, nothing is impossible. You stick to your guns, you work hard, you really work hard, and you believe in yourself, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I truly believe that.
And I'm so glad that now is the time when finally all the talent is being appreciated more than the persona or the stardom that we essentially talk about. Kunal, did it ever get frustrating for you as well? Because you have also waited it out when it comes to projects. मतलब आपने साल में एक प्रोजेक्ट किया है, बट वो एक प्रोजेक्ट वैसा हुआ है जिसमें आई थिंक यू completely believed in whether or not it got numbers didn't really matter, you know. But does it get frustrating sometimes?
Well, sometimes, yeah, it does. Like I was saying, you know, it's like you're watching everyone do interesting work and you want to be part of that work as well. And, you know, acting is something that I really enjoy. I want to be on a set every day. So it can get frustrating, but, you know, there's a bunch of things I think which have been great for me. One is that I've spent time working on myself, developing work that I want to do. So that takes care. You know, you always feel like you're growing, which is great. I also have a life outside the movies, which is that I have a tech platform which takes up a lot of time. There's a lot of things that I enjoy outside the movies as well. So there's never been a time where I felt like deeply frustrated or I felt like depressed or there's of course been the feeling of I want to do more work. And, you know, each time you see an interesting film, you feel like that's a part that you would have liked to do. And you wish that was a part that was coming your way. But it's never been, oh my God, this is so depressing. And, you know, why am I being treated like this? And the other thing is that, you know, it's very easy to go into this sort of victim mode. I am a victim of the industry or circumstances. And I think that's a really dangerous place to be. And I never like to be the victim. I never like to look back and say that, you know, somebody was unfair to me or, you know, it could have been better or... I don't like going into that mode. I prefer to concentrate on what I have in hand and what I want to do in the future. So I think that's really important.
Very optimistic way of looking at things. Very nice actually. कभी-कभी मतलब मेरा मन करता है मैं इतना optimistic रहूं. लेकिन there are days when you feel like why, you know. But of course you come back and you're like, no, it's okay. And all of that. Drashti, for you, I want to know. I mean, you know, I know for the longest time people were like, कि क्या कर रही है? Where is she? Why is she not taking up a project on television? Because I'm sure you were offered a lot of it as well. And it obviously, I wouldn't say an easy way out, but it was more convenient, especially in the last 2 years, jahan pe people were not getting work, you know, but there was always an uncertainty, right? But you waited it out, you waited for the opportunity because you wanted to at that point. Did it get frustrating when people would wonder that kya ho raha hai? Where is she?
I kept feeling that at times that I'm like, why am I doing this? Let me just, you know. And of course, TV is something that I don't feel like I don't want to be a part of. I mean, if there is a great story, I would still say yes to TV because that's where I started. So it's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm just used to working so much that more than doing anything, I was missing the fact of being a workaholic. Like working for those 12 hours, having that hustle in your life. I think that is what I was missing more than anything else. Like just being in front of the camera, just going to work every day, just having those busy 12 hours and then you're traveling. And then when you meet your people, you feel like, oh yeah, like, you know, I've done something and now I'm doing something, like I'm getting that little time off. So yeah, that was something that I was really missing. And honestly, it wasn't like, oh, I am waiting for some great opportunity and that is why I didn't take up TV. Nothing that interesting came up and not like a lot came up and I kept saying no. That was also not the case. OTT, of course, we were trying to figure out how to get a part to start with and to begin with on a OTT platform. And when, of course, I went to meet Nikhil sir and when I met Mitakshara and Khanzada was offered. And of course, like when I started working, I was like, अब इसमें बड़ी मेहनत करनी है. But then of course जब trailer देखे and then we like as I started going and it was a very different way of working compared to what of course pandemic is first reason where it was very different. There was a lot of anxiety on set. You didn't beyond the point you didn't want to get friendly to people because you were like, you know, I just want to stay in my own.
Of course,
I don't want to step out of that. So that made it a little difficult because you don't know the people, right, you're working with. You don't have that comfort zone yet because you want to just get done with your scene and you want to go back to your van. So that got a little difficult. But yes, now that I see the whole thing is done and it's out, I'm feeling the wait was quite worth it.
I have to genuinely tell this. I mean, of course, Dino का तो मुझे mentalhood में, hostage में, I really appreciated what he was doing, like, you know, changing the way he was looking at things. Kunal, of course, always, I have seen him do different stuff, but I was so happy genuinely for Drashti because I've seen her career on television and I knew that she wanted to do something very different. But Drashti, tell me also, when you we have heard it from a lot of actors who have experimented from television to OTT or other platforms that they have faced certain kind of struggle when it comes to that. Maybe it's in terms of acceptance or perception. Did you have to go through it before you got this role, or was it, or your experience was different?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think so much. And I think I don't have the brain levels to understand so much whether you're being accepted, you're not being accepted or anything. I just go on set, I do my work and I leave. So beyond a point, it's never come across my mind that, oh, I wasn't accepted here or I was typecasted as a TV actor. I didn't face any of that. Thankfully, I had Kunal and Dino to work on every scene. Like most of my scenes are with them, and I had a good working rapport with both of them. So I never faced that. And like I said, I mean, because of the pandemic, I used to, and I think it was definitely a new circle for me, a new way of working, very different, very disciplined.
Yeah.
Not like, you know, your TV set becomes your home after a point because like you're working there every day. So it's like, ye chai le aao, it was not that. It was very different, but I totally enjoyed it. I learned a lot out of it. I learned how to be probably way more calmer on set than what I am on my other sets.
I can imagine.
You would know. But no, I didn't have any issue being with the whole acceptance bit. And I think everyone welcomed me very beautifully. And I think after the show is out is when I'll know how nicely I'm welcomed.
No, I'm sure it will be a great welcome for you. But Dino and Kunal, I want to know from you as well. ये एक struggle अलग होता है, दूसरा ये struggle होता है, especially because our industry is so enamored by the stardom culture, wherein a star gets treated differently than someone who is not considered a, you know, youth star or a mega star. You know, did you ever have to face those kind of different perceptions or those kind of struggles that you have to face?
You're going first, or should I go first?
Go.
You can go first.
I've never really let this stardom thing bother me. Because I'm here to work. I want to do good work. और मेरा सिर्फ ये है कि मुझे अच्छा होना चाहिए. I'm not really bothered about कि यार कौन स्टार है, कौन मेरे आगे जा रहा है, कौन मतलब किसको ज़्यादा that for me is very superficial. हाँ, एक perception होता है, एक industry perception होता है, but my job is to go in and perform and do really well and get good roles and get good movies and do better. And that's my job, and that's what I'm here to do. And right now, I feel the opportunities are coming in more than what they were coming in before. हाँ, जब मैंने शुरू किया, तभी हाँ, there were lots of opportunities, but unfortunately, some of the movies weren't doing so well. और हमारी industry, I compare it to the stock market. When the stocks fall, you know, there are not many investors. When your stocks rise, there are a lot of investors. And so my stocks fell. So there were not many people, you know, who were giving me great offers at that point. So then I had to work on myself and, you know, make my stocks rise again. और उम्मीद करता हूँ कि after this show that the stocks rise again and there's lots more investors. So for me, stardom and all that stuff is, at this point of my life, it doesn't matter.
I'm glad you look at it that way, to be very honest, because the industry is very cruel sometimes. Kunal, how?
You have to remember that part. It's not about the industry being cruel. This is life. And there are sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. You know, and then you go up again and then you fall down again. But that's life. You just have to get up and pick yourself up and move ahead.
Yeah. Kunal, what about you?
Yeah, you know, I've over time learned not to take it very personally, because at the end of the day, you know, it's a very tricky place, because on one hand, you know, when you're shooting with some people and, you know, you meet them, you go for parties with them, you hang out with them, you become friends with them and you have an emotional connect with them. So emotionally, you're connected to these people, but at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that you're in the business of cinema. You're not, you know, you have to learn how to not take it very personally. Because like Dino said, it depends on, you know, how well your last films have done. And if your last films are done really well, you'll be part of the business. If your last films are not done so well, then you'll find it hard to be part of the business. But at the end of the day, it is a business. And that's how you've got to look at it, not take it personally. And I think I've been through the whole cycle. I mean, when I was starting off, I had a lot of, I knew people in the industry who said that, have a plan B because this is a very difficult place. I don't know if you should be an actor. It's very difficult for an outsider. Then Rang De Basanti happened and, Yash Raj and all that happened. And everyone was like, he's the next big thing. Then a few films don't work and people are like, it's over. And now, in the last couple of years, I've been getting a lot of offers because I hear people say that he's a very interesting actor and we've not seen enough of him. And, we cast him in multiple things. So I think I've been through the whole circle and the whole cycle. And you just have to learn how to view it from a certain sort of detached lens and not get so emotionally drawn in and so personally affected by it.
I want to reiterate that आप सभी ये जो podium में अभी तीनों ही बहुत interesting actors हैं, and I'm hoping that a lot of more different kind of roles and versatile roles come to you, because I know that you will do justice to it. I'm looking forward to the Empire, and I'm sure many people like me are looking forward to it, because I don't have a lot of time left, because I can continue on and on, but I am sure that you have many more interviews to do. So thank you so much for this lovely chat and all the very best for the Empire. I'm genuinely looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.